Hi guys. Koica scholarship is one of the easiest scholarships that you can obtain in South Korea. The application process is also very easy, and it is important to know that Koica scholarship has a process that is different from one country to another. So if you really want to succeed in this scholarship, you must make sure you look for the application process in your country. It's very important. Again, it is the easiest scholarship that you can obtain if you want to do a master's or a PhD in South Korea. Now, in this video, I'm going to talk about the Koica scholarship and then explain a bit what Koica is all about. Koica is Korea Organization for International Cooperation Agency. So it's Korea Organization, and it is an international cooperation agency that is located in different countries around the world. That is basically in countries that South Korea has some international cooperation with them, which means this scholarship is not open to everyone. It is open to people who come from OECD countries. So you must make sure that before you start thinking about applying for the Koica scholarship or the Korea Organization for International Cooperation Agency scholarship, make sure your country is on the list of countries that are eligible for this scholarship. And also, one other important thing, if you're considering applying for this scholarship is meant for those who are working in their home country government, which means if you don't have a job, if you're not working in the government of your home country that is in the list of eligible countries, you don't need to waste your time applying for this scholarship. So for those of you who are not working, don't even bother. But there are some programs that are open for people who work in NGOs in some countries, and also for people who work for institutions that are kind of affiliated to their home country government. So if there is an institution that was created by your home country government, but you work under that institution, but it has some link with your home country government, you can also apply for this scholarship. Without taking too much of your time, let's get into the details. Let me share my screen so that we can go ahead and look at this scholarship. Okay, I think I'm live on YouTube. All right, so this is Koica scholarship. Just give me a second. I need to make sure the feed is actually streaming on YouTube. Okay. Let me share the exact file. This is not the file that I want. Okay, this is the file. This is the official website of Koica. So if you're thinking about applying for Koica, I'll provide a link down in the description. This is their website. If you go down, you would find this link where it says go. If you click on go, it's going to take you to this page where you have these two gentlemen. You need to click on this plus, and then you would find a whole list of document here. This is the application, and then this is the pre-notice. We will go through some of those documents, and then this is the application guideline, and then the application form, and then you have master's degree in gender equality, degree in tax and fiscal policy. So it goes right up to here. Without taking too much of your time, let's look at this. This is the flyer talking about Koica. For now, it's only for masters, but they've updated their website. They've provided some degree programs that will be available for PhD, but PhD usually comes later on. So for now, if you're thinking about applying, if you're applying for PhD, you have to make sure you start getting yourself ready for PhD. Also, there is an opportunity for those who had once obtained the Koica scholarship for them to equally apply to go and do a PhD under Koica in South Korea. That is something that we'll talk about in another video. That being said, so Koica programs, master's degree, target countries. It is dark list of OECD. You have 90 5 countries. And then the benefits, it will provide your tuition fee for the whole period of study, so you don't really have to worry about tuition fee. And then the next one is monthly allowance. They'll provide you almost a million won based on the fact that the South Korean won has been dropping. It's going to be maybe somewhere between $850 to $950 per month. But either way, South Korea is a cheap country to live in. Uh, yeah, I've lived in South Korea for quite a while, more than 10 years, so I think I can attest to how cheap South Korea is. And then they'll provide you with airfare from your home country to South Korea. And once you're done with your degree program, back to your home country. Remember that Koica scholarship is for those who are working in their home country. So they expect you to go and learn and then go back to your home country. So don't imagine that you would go to South Korea and then not go back to your home country. And then accommodation, they also provide accommodation. They would provide you with settlement. You would have a place to stay. Koica has designated dormitories in South Korea for, let's say, for example, if you decide to go and study at Gyeongbok University in Daegu, they have a dormitory for Koica students. Aju University also has a dormitory for Koica students. Korea University has a dedicated dormitory for Koica students. So they'll provide you with settlement allowance, settlement completion grant. Once you finish your studies, they'll give you some grants, and then they'll provide you with insurance. But they have a policy with their insurance. In most cases, they would want you to pay for your insurance and then they'll reimburse your insurance, which is still not a problem because they are reimbursing. And then you would have extracurricular activities. Koika usually organize activities to teach people about Korean culture. So they will take you to a lot of places. They will take you even to plants like maybe Hyundai plant, Kia plant, where they make those cars. They will take you to a lot of places where you would learn a lot of things based on your degree programs that you're learning. So there is a lot of enjoyment as far as Koika is concerned. And then who can apply? You can apply if you are applying to do a master's degree, which means you must have already obtained a bachelor's degree, and then you must be a citizen of a partner country officially recommended by your country's government. So this is very important. You must be recommended by your home country government. It's very important. So for example, there's a program in education. For some countries, that program might be run by your Ministry of Education, which is why I said that it is different from one country to another. And most countries have a Koica office. If they don't have a Koica office, then probably South Korean embassy or consulate in your home country is going to run that program. Or maybe your Ministry of External Relations is going to run that program. So you have to get to them and then try to understand the application process, because in most cases your home country is going to choose you. And why I said that it's easy to get this scholarship is because most people do not know the application process, and because they don't know the application process, you don't usually have many people applying for this particular scholarship to study in South Korea. So you must hold a bachelor's degree as it has been indicated here. You must be a public official, publicly affiliated worker. Like I said, if you work for an organization or maybe an institution that is linked to your country's government, like I said, governments usually open institutions. Those institutions are affiliated to your home country. For example, maybe you work for a company that provides electricity in your home country. That might be an institution that is independent on its own, but it is a government institution that was created. So you must make sure there is a link between the company that you work for and your government. If there's a link and your government says you can apply, then you can apply, because in most cases it is the government or your ministry that is supposed to recommend you. Then also it's very important to know that you would meet the South Korean university requirement, which means normally it's like you applying to go and study in South Korea, but then the university has to screen you, make sure you are a better candidate for the scholarship, and then they will recommend you now to Koica for Koica to fund your studies. So how to apply? Koica round conducted by Koica Overseas Office or Korean Embassy. Like I said, Koica has offices in most countries that are affiliated to the dark list of OECD countries, or you can apply through an embassy if there is no Koica office in your home country. Korea Organization for International Cooperation Agency, if they don't have one in your home country, then you have to apply through your Korean embassy in your home country. And then the application period is expected to start in January 2026. Sometimes, because of the fact that they don't usually have that many students applying for this program, they might extend the deadline up to like March or April. But that does not mean you should lack or relax. Start preparing your documents right now, because also every university has their own application process, which is why you must go back to this page where you have this list of programs. For example, there's master degree in gender studies. If you open it, you have details. This is a program that is at Ewa Women University, that is in Seoul, South Korea. It's a women university, and they'll be taking in total 15 students. So for inquiry, you can contact them through this email address. It's very important that you go down and then look at these documents that are down here. They have their criterias. You must make sure you go through that document. It's very important. So available fields and fields of study. Let's look at the available fields that are available. Normally, this is the countries that are eligible to apply. Like I said, you have 95 countries. In Africa, you have from Ghana right down to Botswana. So you must make sure your country is on this list before you can apply for Koica scholarship. I guess my people from Nigeria, there is Nigeria here. And then for Central and South America, you have from Guatemala right down to Grenadines. And then in Asia, you have 14 countries, Nepal right down to Thailand. You have Cambodia, Mongolia, Sri Lanka, and then Indonesia as well. And then for those in the Pacific, you have from Fiji right down to Palau. And then in the Middle Eastern part of the world, you have from Azerbaijan, Uzbekistan, right down to Turkmenistan. Okay, so those are the list of countries that are eligible for Koica scholarship. Also, I said you must have an employee status and a government nomination. So you must be employed in your home country and you must be nominated by your government. And then preferably you should be under 40 years when applying. And then there are other things like you must be in good health and mental state. And then also you must have at least a bachelor's degree. They say at least 2 years of bachelor's degree. And then if you're applying for a doctorate, you must have a master's degree. And then if you had once obtained a master's degree or a Koica scholarship, you must go back to your home country, work for 3 years, and then you can then apply to do a doctoral degree. So for master's degree, they need you to have a bachelor's degree, and then you have 2 years of experience. And then for doctoral degree, you must have at least 3 years of experience. But if you had once had a master's degree and then want to do a doctoral degree, know that after your master's degree under Koica, you must go back to your home country, work for your home country for at least 3 years, if I'm not mistaken, and then you can then apply to go and do a doctoral degree under Koica in South Korea. Also, there is this: you must be fluent in English. It's very important. So these are the degree programs. You have Ewa Women University, there's Hanyang University. Ewa Women University had the gender equality program that I talked about. And then Hanyang University is Smart City Management and Technology. And then you have Korea National University of Education. This is a university that is a bit far from Seoul. It's somewhere in the middle of South Korea, but the good thing about South Korea is that there is a good transportation system which is also cheap. There are buses, express buses that can take you. I know a lot of students who were in this university, they'll go to Seoul every weekend for enjoyment. And then there's Korea University. Korea University is in Seoul, capital of South Korea, and then there is Seoul National University. That's the mother of university, number one university in South Korea. So these are the master's degree program that are currently available, but there will be more. These ones will begin in January. Rest assured that maybe by the end of this November or maybe beginning of December, they will add more. They usually have more than this. Right now, you don't have Aju University on this list, but Aju University is actually under Koica. But they do revise their list of universities sometimes. But Aju has always been constant. So these are the programs. Again, you have doctoral programs, like for example you have degree in AI digital innovation, and these are the quota of students. Normally doctoral degree they want 3, and then for master's degree 25, 25, 25, and then you have some universities that will take 20 students. There is also KDI is a school of public policy. This is in Daejeon, in Daejeon, South Korea. They have two campuses actually. KDI has way too many scholarships. If you've been following my channel, you would find KDI scholarships. There are lots of scholarships at KDI, Korea Institute of Public Policy and Development. So it's very important that you make sure that if you want to apply for Koica, you start preparing right now. Koica scholarship is one of the easiest scholarships to obtain. Trust me. I have had experiences from people who applied, and I know people personally who've had this Koica scholarship. Most of them applied and then they were worried that maybe they would not get the scholarship, but they ended up getting the scholarship. Some tried once, they did not succeed. They tried the second time, they succeeded. One other thing about South Korean scholarships is that you must be persistent. When you apply the first time, if you don't get it, try to figure out what went wrong and then you get it. It applies also even for GKS, the Global Korean Government Scholarship. So this scholarship will be on in January. If you know you work for your home country government, start getting ready. Get yourself ready to apply for this scholarship. And if you have any questions, please let me know in the comment section. I'll be live every day for at least 10, 15 minutes, even if it means sharing a bit of my Korean language. I'll do it on this channel going forward. That being said, I'll end the video here. It's already almost 15 minutes long, 18 minutes long.